G'day everyone. Welcome back to the G'day everyone. Welcome back to Leeds Till It Hurts podcast, episode 2. Obviously, we're your hosts, CJ and Lachie, or Butters, whatever you guys want to call him. That's fine by us. Um, Thank you to everyone who listened and engaged with our first episode. We didn't expect that sort of, response. So thank you very much. And we're going to be bringing you all things Leeds from Australia as often as we can. And when we're not posting episodes, we'll be, making posts on social media so you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah,
And most importantly, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and click that bell to be notified when our video episodes go up on YouTube. Lockie,
yeah. And if you leave a review as well on
mm,
Spotify or Apple Podcasts, at the end of each episode, I might read one out. And if you've got any
yeah,
questions, we can try and answer to the best of our abilities.
absolutely. And I do have a interesting topic for next episode, but I'll talk about that at the end of this one. So season 2025-2026 is over. Leeds escaped relegation literally by the skin of their teeth, very much so. Lockie, what do you make of the season that was?
Well, the first half of the season was a bit disappointing, but I think as well, we had new players coming in. There was some injuries early on. It didn't look too amazing.
No, it
Going
looked very
into
ordinary.
going into Christmas, Daniel Farke, he would have had the hottest seat in the Premier League, I think.
Hmm.
And from where he was going into Christmas to where he finished off, and where the team finished off, you've just got to applaud him
Mm.
and applaud the team for the turnaround.
Oh, absolutely. He was one of the most criticised managers in the Premier League, and not by and by everyone, not like by Leeds fans, by non-Leeds fans. He was copying it left, right, and centre. And so to
Yeah.
manage Leeds in first season back in the Premier League and stay up, because let's be honest, the goal was survival. We weren't trying to win the flag, like the flag. Geez, talk about AFL. We weren't trying to win the Premier League, but we also weren't wanting to get relegated. So he did his job. In all honesty, it's a successful season in that regard. We didn't want to push for the league, but I will be honest, I was stoked with our success in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
However, I did see it as a detractor because at the same time, when we were going on a bit of a cup run, we were going tremendously awful in the league rather than the FA Cup. We were too focused on the FA Cup, in my opinion, and in my thoughts, not necessarily Fark, but in general, too focused on the FA Cup and not as focused as we should have been on survival in the Premier League. Um, which is, it's going to sound awful of me. Put your hate in the comments if you guys definitely don't agree with me, but I'm glad we didn't go further than we did in the FA Cup. I reckon we would have got relegated if we would have kept going in the FA Cup. And I would much rather survival in the Premier League than win the FA Cup. Shoot me if you want, but that's
I,
my view.
I'm a bit 50-50 on that. Like, I get 100% where you're coming from, and we
Yep.
were definitely struggling in the league when we went on that FA Cup tangent.
Yep.
Um, on the other side of that, if we had have gone maybe that little bit extra step forward in the FA Cup,
Mm.
perhaps that leads to, no, pardon the pun, attracting some more players.
But we don't need more players. We've got a great core squad.
But that would be my only sort of argument against what you.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. It would be make Leeds a bit more of a destination sort of club. I do agree with that. But at our core, we had the squad strong enough. we had a strong enough squad to manage our expectations and stay up, which we did. And I just think we could have maybe seen a higher finish on the standings had we have gone out earlier in the FA Cup. Don't get me wrong. I'm stoked with how far we went in the FA Cup. I just think it was to our own detriment. Um, because I know firsthand, so I'm a photographer for a local soccer or football club where I live, and this team is tremendously successful. Over the course of 90 days, they were playing a game every 3.9 days on average. That's how intense they were, because not only were they playing the regular season, they also went as far as any club from my region has in the Australia Cup, and then they also had to play the State Cup. So they were playing Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays in top flight, well, not A League, but first grade football here. So the equivalent of the National League over in the UK. So they were exhausted, and it started to show in their regular competition. They were traveling 3 hours one way just to go to a game to play in the Australia Cup, and then expected to back up 2 days later. And these are
Yeah,
guys that have day jobs and train twice a week, not professional players at Leeds. And I'm using this as an example to prove that the fatigue factor is such a detriment. So that's why I think the further we went in the FA Cup for Leeds, the more detrimental it became to our survival or potential survival in the Premier League. So, and unfortunately, I think that it seemed that FARC and the club were trying to focus a bit more on the FA Cup than the Premier League once we started making it past the first few rounds of the FA Cup. Because obviously we played our, blokes that didn't really get a start in those first few matches. But once we started getting further, they actually kept some regular players. I'm like, nah, I'm not a fan of that. We struggled, and we could have, if I'm being honest, we were almost in a relegation battle in the first spot of relegation for a little bit. And I wasn't happy with it. Overall, again, this is just my opinion. Obviously, everyone tear me to shreds if you want in the comments. It's just my opinion. It's not fact or statements or anything. It's just my statements, really. So, overall, out of 10 for the season that we had, I personally give it a 7 out of 10, because
yeah,
we achieved the main goal would have been, to stay in the Premier League, and we did that.
yeah.
And we had a pretty good go at the FA Cup, but to our own detriment of almost getting relegated. So I reckon 7 out of 10.
I think that's
What
fair.
rating would you give Leeds?
I
Leeds?
think
What would you? Yeah, it
I think 7 is a very fair rating. Like the first half of the season, as I mentioned, not
was
great.
average. Yeah.
We came back in the second half.
Yep.
Yeah, we did have a bit of a, you know, lull while we'll focus more on the FA Cup. But
Yep.
I think,
I mean, it's a great headache to
yeah,
have
I
that we
think
were doing
for,
well in the FA Cup.
and then that's what I mean as well, in the sense of like, you know, it becomes like can help attract some more players for the next season. Because if you look at a team like um, Manchester City, for example,
Mm-hmm.
like they were able to balance a bit more of having guys that aren't getting starts on the Prem stage, to have a bit more of a balance with them guys later in the FA Cup,
Mm,
rounds of 32, 16, as it gets closer to the final.
mm.
And then, like, obviously, they've built that up over however many years
Yep.
to be able to do that. And we're not quite there yet.
No.
But it does become, that catch 22 of like you said, like it probably did almost cost us a little bit, but it's that catch 22 of we need to have some performances like we were with the FA Cup to cement ourselves as a team that's worth coming to push
Yeah.
further up the table.
Oh, I agree. I agree. So you reckon overall 7 out of 10 is your grade, your marking
Yeah, I
for
think
Leeds
7 out of
season?
10 is a great marking.
I think it's yeah. I'd like to think that as well, given I was the one that notioned that idea. Right, segmenting in to the 2026-27 kits so far that have been dropped, rumored, and whatnot. Obviously, the worst kept secret in the off season was the away shirt. And what a freaking kit this is. Honestly, I cannot wait until I get the money to be able to buy one because I'll buy three. You know, that's how many I want of this. It's so frigging good. I love it. It's, as I mentioned in episode one, my favorite kit of all time is the Strongbow era, and especially the yellow. And well, they've brought out an all yellow kit. Oh, it's amazing. What do you think of it, Lockie?
Oh, it is really, really good. I'm
It's
going to get
clean.
one. I'm going to get one as soon as I'm able to.
Yep.
I love how like Adidas have done a great job with our kits.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, they
I
have.
love how not only did they put an older logo on the kit,
Yes.
they put
An
their
old
old
mate, an
logo.
old mate Yorkshire Rose on there. Yep.
They put their old logo on the kit as well to
They
match
did.
that era.
It is so good. And I find a lot of manufacturers, not just Adidas, are doing that as well for retros. And it's wonderful to see that, especially when sponsors, example Red Bull, allow the kit manufacturers to alter their logos as well to fit the vibe and the
Mm.
design. It shows that they're all in, and it's wonderful to see. Now the home shirt, it's not been announced yet, but it's got very strong links to the sort of pinstripe sort of design of the 0506 kit. Have you seen and or heard about this rumor, Lockie?
Well, I haven't seen any of the leaks, but
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about it via you. I
Yep.
have heard about it via Facebook as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I haven't seen any of the leaked photos
I
as
think
of
they're
yet.
trying to go with a retro the whole way through because, 0506 was 20 years ago, relatively. So it might mark something significant around that sort of time, or just in general to throw it back a bit 20 years, 21 years technically at the time when the season comes up. But yeah, and now the third kit, it is obviously just a rumor. There is not even an inkling of truth yet. It's just a lot of murmuring. But
Yeah.
Lockie, do you want to hit us with what the rumors are?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of whispers and a lot of talks
Mm-hmm.
of what the rumored third kit is.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been several different sort of concepts that is being talked about of what the rumor of it is, but all of them are saying that it's a black kit.
Okay.
Now, there's been different rumors of what is featured on it.
Mm-hmm.
Some rumors are saying that it's a famous landmark or monument
Mm-hmm.
from Leeds that is well known.
Okay.
Others are saying that it's like a stripe design.
Yep.
Other, so the only thing that all of these rumors have in common is that it's a black kit. But
Which, as we know, Leeds tend to, with their third kit, stray away from the core three colors, white, yellow, and blue of Leeds in their third kits. It's always, example, we've seen purple, we've seen dark green, that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is a dark color like a black.
yeah, and like obviously, as CJ said, it's not like confirmed at all. It is just rumors, but that is the strong inkling that a lot of people are saying will be around the third kit. I'm
Yep,
keen to see whatever they do because, as I mentioned before, Adidas have done an amazing job with our kits.
they have.
So I'm confident whatever they do will be a phenomenal job.
Oh, absolutely agreed. Now, segueing into the World Cup, Leeds players in the World Cup. We don't have many, but what are your thoughts on how they've gone so far?
So far, our boys have had good showings.
Mm-hmm.
Tanaki, obviously being the strongest of them all, he's having a breakout World Cup.
He is.
Yeah, Harrison's USA topped our group stage.
They did, yes.
Um, yeah, I think our boys are having a solid
They're having a good
showing.
spell.
Yes, and We were fortunate enough to see two of our boys go head to head when
Hmm.
Japan took on. Now I'm going to slip the nation's mind. Um,
It's slipping my mind too, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
Yes, and um, a lot of disgruntled fans in the Facebook groups in particular that I'm in, not just based in the UK ones, where they were talking about, oh, we only have in a small number of players in the World Cup. But then I cannot help but back the comments on these posts saying, hey, less people in the World Cup means less injuries in the off season that we might have to deal with. And I
and
think that's such a good view of like a good way of looking at it.
you've got to also think as well. A lot of the countries our players come from, like we have a fair few German players, Belgian players.
Yep.
Germany, like there's a lot of German players that are in the Prem. There's a lot of pl German players that are in other big leagues.
Hmm.
So yes, we might not have a strong showing at the World Cup with our players. At one, as you said, less injuries, but two,
Hmm.
it's also because these players, as great as they are, they're coming from countries that have a lot of great players
That
spread
are
all,
already established in the
yeah,
national teams. Yeah,
that and they're obviously spread in a lot of strong teams around the world.
exactly. And yeah, I agree with both of those statements. Player movements, though, we've got Pascal Strike as of today, Australia time, has signed and is now over at Brighton Hove Albion. Obviously, in the last few weeks, we've seen Ilan Melier leave,
Yeah,
which I mean, he did a great service to us. He got us promoted, got us relegated, but also got us promoted again. So, thank you for your time at Leeds to both of those players.
yeah.
A little quick before we talk on the Suzuki potential. Christopher Clayson, I'm probably pronouncing that so wrong, so my apologies. Um, while, yes, he doesn't play for Leeds anymore, and he only managed three top flight games for Leeds. He starred in the juniors, as in
Hmm.
under 23s, etc. He's retired from the sport in general
Yeah,
as of yesterday. I think when this goes out, probably a week ago when this as of this episode airing, at the age of 25, he signed a 3-year contract in January this year, and he's retired with nary an explanation. Now, obviously, he doesn't owe anyone an explanation. He knows his morals and why and whatnots,
mm.
but it's a bit of a head scratcher, don't you think?
It is. And the closest sort of thing I've seen to this in my time
Mm,
would be to use an AFL reference. Tom
hmm.
Boyd, he signed a mega 7-year 7-year deal, multi-million-dollar contract,
Hmm.
and after
I mean, let's be honest. I don't think the money had anything to do with it.
yeah, after
But
one
continue.
season, where he won a premiership,
Yep.
re just retired at the age of 21. That's
Wow.
the closest I've seen to something like this.
Yeah, where you've got the world at your feet. You're going well. You're in form. This, that, the other, and you've just signed a massive deal. So your job security's there. Um, and then bam, retires. Like, I mean, good on him. I wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors, but it's also just a bit of a dome scratcher. So, like,
Yeah,
Christopher, I mean, I doubt you're listening, but if you're listening, reach out, and let us have a bit of insight as to why.
yeah.
Um, Now, Suzuki, what are your thoughts
Well,
on?
before we get to Suzuki,
Yep,
sorry.
yep,
Um, Obviously you mentioned Pascal and
yep,
Malier,
yep.
but what's your thoughts on them leaving? Because, both of them helped bring us two pieces of silverware. Um,
Mm. Well,
as
they
you
don't owe
know,
us anything.
as you know, Malier for me, I wasn't his biggest fan,
Oh, you know who I wasn't a fan of, and
but
I'll mention that
oh
in a bit. But
yeah,
yeah,
but Pascal genuinely brought a tear to my eye when I
I,
saw
I
the
loved
news.
Pascal. I love Pascal at Leeds. He got what Leeds is all about. Um, so Elan Melier, him specifically leaving, it. it's going to sound bad when I say this, but there's more goalkeepers where he came from. There's
Mm,
just as there's more centre backs and left backs.
yeah.
There's every position is replaceable,
And
obviously,
I
but
didn't hate Malier. Like, I
yeah,
recognize he has talent, but
yeah.
personally for me, I wasn't the
I saw him
biggest a
falling
fan.
off a bit in form at Leeds during the last two seasons. So realistically, I didn't see him staying. If anything, I'm surprised he stayed at Leeds as long as he did. So mad credit to him for bringing silverware and promotions for us to Leeds. He was definitely who we needed when we needed it. Um, but I'm not going to lose sleep over him
Yeah.
leaving. However, Pascal Strike, incredible player. I mean, so is Melier. All of them are. But yeah, you know, it's it does bring a little bit of a metaphorical tear to the eye.
Yeah.
It's like when Luke Ayling retired. It was that was heartbreaking almost. Um,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Am I glad he's staying in the Premier League? Absolutely, because he deserves. He is still Premier League quality. Am I glad he's not gone to a rival? Absolutely, I'm glad he's not gone to a rival because you don't go to a rival.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm glad. I can't wait for him to return to Ellen Road this coming season when we play Brighton because he won't. I don't think he will get booed, and if he does, to the people who boo him, go to the mirror and have a long hard look at yourselves.
Yeah.
He doesn't warrant a boo. Harry Kewell, on the other hand, going to Galatasaray, a little bit of a boo. Um, but I think um, Pascal, he did us well, and so did Elon. They don't owe us anything. They've got us promoted twice. They've got us silverware. You know what? Their job is done. We
Yeah.
couldn't ask any more from them than what they've provided for us as fans. So I wish them the best on where they go and where they've ended up. I just hope, obviously, they don't do better than Leeds. Obviously, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on them, as you were mentioning?
Yeah. Well, as I say, Malier, like, as I say, I recognize he has talent, but I wasn't the biggest fan of him. Um, but I think it's probably what's best for him and best for the club. Like, he'll probably be happier wherever he's going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for the club, like, there what probably was a little bit of selection integrity where it came to him.
Yep.
Um, 'Cause I think the club probably felt, despite his form dropping, we're still going to pick him up. We're still going to pick him because he's helped bring us two pieces of silverware.
Yeah.
Um, Pascal, on the other hand, genuinely brought a tear to my eye.
Yep.
So many great memories from 8 seasons of watching him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, he was very instrumental in helping bring two pieces of silverware to the club.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he played a brilliant performance in the FA Cup run,
Mm-hmm. He did.
and yeah, it's going to be sad to see him wearing bright and blue, but
Yes.
yeah, again, it's part of football.
Yes,
You're
it
gonna,
is.
you're gonna have players come and go. Unfortunately, they can't all just stay one club players, especially in English football and world
Yep.
football.
Oh, absolutely agreed. Um, and one player I'm glad that we let go, and that I'm gonna obviously exactly who I'm going to be mentioning right now.
Uh,
And yes, this is not to do with this season because he did leave a little bit ago, but in my opinion, he outstayed his welcome by about his entire time at Leeds. Um, and that is the one and only Patrick Bamford. I cannot stand him as a player. I don't know him as a person. Obviously, I want that on record. I don't know him as a person. He could be the nicest bloke ever off the pitch, but on the pitch, he seemed like. I mean, obviously, a striker's job is to finish a goal. And yes, he technically did that, but more often than not, off the back of everyone else's efforts. He didn't really create his own opportunities. It was, I could go on, but I won't. But because I could do a whole 1 hour episode as to why I dislike him and his playing style, but not
well,
him as a person. I want that on record because I don't know him from a bar of soap.
yeah, we have a bit of a running joke about Pat. And
We do.
like
He
I
calls me
love
his best mate.
I love I
Y-
loved what he brought for Leeds. I
mm-hmm.
thought when he was on the Leeds United official podcast, he
Mm,
was a brilliant listen.
mm-hmm.
Um,
I find Matt
he's
Lewis more of an interesting listen on the Leeds podcast.
well, Matt Lewis. I love as massive Potterhead,
Oh,
but
as in, I think he has more of a football IQ than Bamford does,
but
and he's never played for Leeds.
um, you just threw me off there.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
you're right. But I think especially the last sort of couple seasons, his head wasn't as in the game.
Those last 2 or 3 seasons,
Like,
I think he managed to get on the pitch what a handful of times.
yeah, but I think there was a handful of, from what I can gather, from obviously from that little bit of insight you do get into his life from the
Mm, the
Leeds
podcast, yep.
podcast. There was a bit going on in his personal life with his wife. She had a
Mm-hmm.
terrible car accident,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't fault him for,
Oh
I
no,
guess, having
family first.
yeah. But I thought he was a brilliant servant for the club, but as you obviously have different
Yeah.
views, which is yeah, a running joke
Yep.
for us.
Yes. Yes. As I said, don't get me wrong. What I love the opportunity to interview him. Absolutely. You know, I don't. It's not that I don't like him as a person. I don't know him as a person. So it would be great to interview him. But yeah, just not a fan of his time at Leeds.
One of my
Now,
favorite clips of him, sorry, just
mm,
to while
yeah,
we're on
yeah,
the
yeah,
Pat tangent, is
yep,
when he got selected for England,
yeah,
and there's that clip of him and Calv, and then all
yes.
the England players were like, "Ooh, Leeds friends."
Oh, friends. Yeah, it was that. I did like that. Yes. Um, now, Suzuki, what are your thoughts?
I think that would be an amazing get for the
It'd be
club.
it'd be a game changer. Yeah.
Um, 30 million price tag is what our rumored bid is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you think it's
obviously,
enough to lure him to Leeds?
yes, obviously, like it would be our biggest that we've spent on a player since Pat Bamford.
Mm-hmm. Who didn't warrant the price tag he got,
But
and the record shows that. But yes, continue.
I think it would be good also for Tanaki.
Mm-hmm.
They've already got that chemistry,
They do. Yes.
and
Oh,
you talk
friends.
about you talk about like player retention,
Yep.
and it's smart like having two guys that are playing on the world stage together,
Together. Yep.
bring them together at a club. You're gonna It's gonna bring more culture to the club that
Yep.
you're bringing in a guy that's already got a strong connection. He's a proven player. Like Japan are
Yep.
doing well with him.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think it's a great signing if we can get the job done.
I agree. I think there's nothing but potential right now. But everyone was saying that about Pat Bamford at the time we were going to sign him. So let's just not put all our eggs in one basket. But like let's not count the chickens before they hatch, sort of thing. But right now, I will say it's promising.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Now you got some A-Law trivia. A-Law being all Leeds, aren't we?
yeah.
Everyone play along. Let us know in the comments how quickly you guessed this correctly. Lachie, hit us with it. Hit us with the rules. Hit us with what's going on with A-Law trivia.
All right, guys, welcome to my segment. It's your segment. This is All Leads, aren't we? This is a trivia sort of thing that we're doing. So I'll give 10 hints from hardest to easiest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, within these 10 hints,
Is it a player, though?
it will be a player that
Okay.
is either a current or former player for
Mm-hmm.
Leeds, hence the title All Leads, aren't we?
Yep. Is there a
Um,
minimum amount of games that that the players need to have played, or could it be one
one
minimum?
appearance.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So this could be tough for
So,
everyone.
yeah, as I say, we'll go from hardest hint to easiest.
Yep.
CJ will guess when he thinks He,
I'm probably going to get it wrong every single time, but yeah.
all right. At number 10,
Mm,
hint number one or like 10th hardest.
yep.
When this player signed for Leeds, the
Mm,
Yorkshire Evening Post described him as not your typical footballer, as he plays the piano, violin, and guitar.
next.
This player had his youth career at Nottingham Forest.
Think I know, but I'll say next.
This player's first international game was for the Republic of Ireland under 18.
Next.
This player scored 17 goals for Middlesbrough on loan.
Oh, nah. Surely it's not the bloke I hate the most. It's not. It's not Patrick Bamford, is it?
Yes.
Ah! Fuck! You see that the Nottingham Forest and the Ireland is what I was like. This is fucking. It was eating. Yeah. Oh, I'm so. I knew it was gonna. It was either gonna be him or one other, and I'm like,
I,
fuck.
in
You would.
hindsight,
You, first of all, you would do that to me.
I probably should have done the Ireland one before the Nottingham Forest one.
No, I think Ireland one is a lot easier of a guess. I would honestly put that down to like maybe the third, like the 3-2-1 would be down at number three sort of thing. But yeah, okay. So what number did I get the guess at?
You got it at number 4.
Okay. So I got 4 points for that guess.
Yeah.
Everyone in the comments, let us know how many you got, like whether you got it in the second guess or the third one. If you got it before me, let us know.
Yeah.
And
This
just
is
for reference, what were the next hints going to be?
the next hints were going to be upon a return in the 2023 season, he
Mm,
done a symbol for his wife, which was the M
hmm
symbol that he done for his
Yep.
wife.
Yep. And the next hint was going to be
The next hint was going to be his first career, um, his first year at professional level was 2011.
hmm
I mean, that's 6. So yes, and then I was going to say how many goals he got for Leeds, which was 56 over 192 appearances.
Yep. Very rookie numbers. Yep. I mean, more the goals and appearances than I'll ever do for Leeds. Obviously, that goes
Yeah.
without saying. Yeah, right. I like that.
Do you want me to finish the last couple or
Yeah. Yeah. Go for
yeah?
it.
And then I was going to say for the second easiest question, he currently plays at Sheffield United.
Yep.
And to top it off, I was going to say he signed under Marcelo Bielsa.
Signed as in for Leeds under
Yeah,
Marcelo Bielsa.
yeah,
Did he?
yeah,
Are we sure?
yeah.
Let me
Because
let me Google let me Google fact check that.
that is in the Leeds doco on Amazon.
Okay. Well, he was at Leeds from 2018, and Marcelo came in 2018. I'm pretty sure. Was it 2017? Let me check. I will just double check that. From June 2018, Marcelo came to Leeds. So I knew it was 2018. But let's check when he signed for Leeds, as in when Patrick Bamford signed for Leeds. Bear with me. Yes, it was literally less than a month after Bielsa went to Leeds. July
Yeah.
31st, he signed for Leeds.
And that Yorkshire Evening Post quote,
Yep.
to give it in full,
hmm
um, he is not your typical footballer. He plays
Yeah,
piano,
definitely. That's true. He's not a
violin,
good footballer.
guitar, and saxophone, and is conversational in French, Spanish, and German.
Ah.
So he's quadlingual.
Just say multilingual. You wouldn't say quadlingual. You just say multilingual. You got lingual, bilingual, and then I guess multilingual.
Which
I
it
guess.
is.
I mean trilingual.
It is.
Quadrilingual would be. It wouldn't be quadlingual. It would be quadrilingual. There we go.
It is interesting. He is fluent in all in them three,
He's not fluent. He's
or
conversational,
conversational in those
which is
three.
basically fluent, really.
As he yeah, he hasn't played for any a team for any of those countries.
No, he hasn't. He's played in England and only England.
Yeah, but I suppose you've got players that are coming into the club with
All those
all those
backgrounds.
national
Yeah.
backgrounds and whatnot, so
Yeah,
it makes
right.
sense.
It does. Rightio. Finishing up on this episode, Ted Lasso season 4. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Are you keen
I
for it?
I'm excited. I thought season
Yep.
three finished perfectly,
Mm.
but I'm not going to complain at a season four because Ted Lasso is one of those shows that no matter what's going on in the world, you can put it on and it brightens the world.
Yeah, and which is a great thing. However, it's interesting because it did only originally have a 3 season story arc.
Mm,
So it feels like they're not rushing a season 4, which is good because if they'd have rushed a season 4 after seeing how well season 3 did, it would have been shit, if I'm being
yeah.
honest. So they're not rushing it. So I think they're doing it well. It'll be interesting to see now that the person that plays Rupert is now passed away, rest in peace, how they might incorporate Rupert in it. If they manage to film some scenes with him, I don't know. Or
Mm,
maybe they'll use AI for that part. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see if Rupert has any sort of in it at all.
yeah, maybe they might give him a brother or something.
Yeah, true. They might.
But the interesting enough, it looks like from the trailers that Henry will be moving over with him,
Mm.
with Ted, that is. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe he ends up in like Richmond's academy.
Well, we do know that Ted Lasso is no longer the head coach of Richmond FC because
Yeah,
at the end of season 3, Roy Keane, like Roy
Roy
Kent,
Kent.
Roy Kent was announced with Coach Beard as an assistant. So maybe he might just, yeah, it's going to be interesting to speculate on. And yes, this is not Leeds United based topic, but who doesn't love Ted Lasso?
I mean, Ted Lasso gave Leeds its credit in the scene where Richmond were going on a run. They had
Yep, they
Leeds
beat
high up the
Leeds in
ladder.
that run. They did. They did have Leeds high up the ladder, and they apparently beat Leeds. In I mean, I don't see that being a thing. Um, I don't see that ever being a thing of Richmond beating Leeds, but that is what it is. I'm keen. Do we have a release date yet, or not sure?
I will
I'll
just
check.
fact check, but I believe there is.
Ted Lasso season 4 drops August 2026, 5th of August this year. Australia time is episode 1. And that'll be on Prime Video, not Apple TV,
Oh,
as were the first 3 seasons.
oh, it says on mine that it's coming to Apple TV.
Well, it doesn't say it here. It says watch show on Prime Video.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's going to be on multiple
Maybe it'd be good if
platforms.
they did rather than just Apple TV. But episodes 1 and 2 at least have release dates of the 5th and the 12th of August. So it'll keep in tune with Apple TV's how they did an episode per week rather than dropping it all at once, which kind of shits me.
Yeah,
But you know, I'm paying for a streaming service. I don't want to have to wait.
yeah. No, I
That's
know
just
that
me.
struggle.
Mm, yes. Anyway, that is it for episode 2. Thank you everyone for tuning in, listening, and whatnot. Obviously, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to give us a follow and whatnot on Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What's up, Lachie?
And then next, yeah, as I say, next episode, if there's a review, I'll read a review out at the end. And if you've got a question or anything, we'll try answer, whether that be, just a general question about Leeds or
Yep.
our thoughts on something. But yeah, we are keen for episode 3.
Yes.